to this day, I have talked about it with different people, and somebody had actually came up with kind of a logical explanation, maybe. Because the next night, Dad's watcher is back, calm, no ruckus, no problem whatsoever, just like he always was. So I thought, well, either something made him mad, he was fighting with something, or I couldn't understand. But where he stepped over in that pig pen, of course, hog pen, mud is soft.
Mm-hmm.
He left footprints. He stepped again, and then stepped over the side. And I cast them. They were 18 inches long, about 9 wide. And I had those up to about 3 years ago in my big house. My brother's cabin caught on fire and it spread to my big house. So I'm no longer up there. I got a smaller cabin down closer to the road. But they burned up in that cabin, or up in my house. But that's how big the footprint was through the hog pen. And then actually just a few nights ago, another gentleman I was talking to, he said, would it have been possible that was he fighting with like a Dogman or something? And because I've never seen talk about Dogman, and I know the lores and the Shawnee story of how they were created, but I'd never seen one. I had different theories on that. But in October of last year, again, I hike. I'll do a 10-mile hike. I'll go back in the woods. I'll spend the night, sometimes myself. But on this date, there was another girl. Well, there was 2 girls, but the one wanted to take me to one of her places, which I'd never been to before. And it's not even around here. It's not around where I live. But she wanted to show it to me, and we went. And we went back about 6 miles back in the woods. It was a long hike. I mean, we just goofed off, had fun. Did see a lot of signs, though, the X's. There was some Y's there, that kind of thing. And I found a couple footprints. So, it's getting evening time. Wasn't dark, but it was getting late. And the only way for us to come back out, we had to come back down a trail that took us back to the car. As we came down the trail, I looked ahead of us, and my first thought was it was like a big tom turkey, this big, huge black thing on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, I said, is that a turkey? Well, I didn't have a phone, or I don't carry a phone or anything. I carry my gun with me, but I don't carry because you don't get no service anyway. And she on her phone, and it has a good camera and stuff on it. She's looking, and she's like, I don't know what it is. I can't see. And we went farther, and then the third girl, she's like, I see it. What is that? And I'm like, I don't know, but I was beginning to get a little concerned because it was as we moved, it was getting bigger as we moved closer, because we were farther away, I guess, than what we were realizing. And there was a log across the road we had to climb over, and we did that. And off to the right, there was a deer, and she jumped up and ran off into the woods. And then I see, it looks like a German Shepherd's head, It's, but you know how a dog will track with his nose to the ground, back and forth like it's catching a scent. And because she goes, oh my gosh, I hope somebody didn't throw a dog out down there, or, just abandoned or whatever. But we're all getting concerned because we got to go past where that is, and it's still ways, and we have to. We're not going to spend the night in the woods,
Right.
So we just moving, and the closer we get, the bigger it gets. And finally, we were within range. It came up, and it came up on 2 legs. And still in my mind, I'm thinking, is it a dog, and somebody's playing ball with it, making it jump up, because you're trying to rationalize, or I do. I try to think of that before I think of other stuff. But it came up on 2 legs, and it walked off of the path into the woods in the direction where that deer went. That's the direction it went. And everything was stone silent. There was no bugs. There was no birds. And every hair. By this time, I pulled my pouch around. I carry a 380, and then I flipped the safety, and I got other clips in there, so I've already got it, and I got my hand on it. And the other girl, she's looking for a stick because I walk with. I'm getting older. I use a walking staff. Mm-hmm. And she found this little stick about this long, and I'm thinking, all that's going to do is be a chew toy. But my 380 would not have been anything. This thing is the size of a man, mm-hmm. and it's on 2 legs. So but like I said, we didn't have any choice. We had to come through but it went into the woods. We got through, and when I get up to the car, I had my daughter's, and she has a new car, SUV, and I'm hitting the button to try to unlock the door. It won't unlock. The key fob is dead. It won't work. So it's like a horror movie where you got the key and you're trying to unlock the door. Yeah. And she's like, I gotta pee. I was like, you pee. I'm getting in. I'm getting in the car. I'm closing the door because from the size of that thing, it can rip the door off. Just want to get out of here. Right. Yeah. So that was, I seen that, and it's like, well, was that a Dogman sighting? Mm-hmm. But in my mind, I'm still trying to rationalize, I don't know. All I know is if it was a dog, it walked on 2 legs. It was on 4, mm-hmm. and it came up, which was very concerning. So then the gentleman the other night, he said, well, do you think that when that happened with your dad, could it possibly have been like his watcher was fighting like a dog man or something like that? So I don't know. I just know that the dogs were attacked. Jake, I found him the next day. He was alive. Amazingly, he was alive. But he had these punctures, like big, long mm-hmm. teeth punctures, like it picked him up and bit like through his hindquarters and to his private areas. But those holes, these are long holes that you can stick your finger down in. Yeah. And that big. So what I see with the watchers, I see them. I've seen their, I don't examine their teeth or anything, like, don't get me wrong, that nothing like that. Mm-hmm. But I have seen them, and their teeth they're not that long. Not anything I've seen. So I don't know. No.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.